Yo. Yo, yo, yo. Ooh, CSGO. I know, man. I feel the same way. Same, to be honest. Same. What's up, gamers? Stiletto isn't S or A tier, unsub. If skeleton not in god tier gonna report this video. See, this is what I wanted. People have been asking me to do this video for a long time, and so I thought I would finally oblige. Hi Dimitri, what's up, Linoleum? Max, what's up, buddy? James, greetings. Thank you for tuning in. Mavd. So today's the day, folks. Today, special episode of Hot Retakes. We're doing Dimitri's authorized CSGO knife tier list. Oh, I'm excited. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a fun one. So let me just make sure everything checks out. Oni, what's up? Anish. Andrea. My dear homeboy. Butt plugs S tier. What's up? What's up, Exotic? Not streaming on Twitch? No, streaming on YouTube. Streaming on YouTube. Can't wait. I can't wait to see the chat burn. I know, man. That's why I'm psyched. I am psyched. What's up, Obsidian? Ryujin. Hacker, hello. Fellow gamer. It's your boy. So first thing, so what we're gonna do today is we're just gonna do our tier list. I'm gonna hop into a custom server just so we can actually like spawn the knives, look at them, talk through them. And I'm also obviously gonna set up a tier maker as well, which I have to open up right now. Actually, I just completely forgot to do that. But first things first. Let me just make sure my OBS is doing well. I am so psyched right now, guys, because I got a new computer for streaming, and shout out to the homies, the absolute homies over at Acer Predator, because my old PC was scuffed. Like, I was running a 1080, which is like, you know, it's fine. Like, I was running a PC where it was like fine to get like 250, 300 frames out of CSGO when I was playing it, right? Because I also play native, as most of you know, right? So I was running a PC where it was like fine to play CSGO, but it was like really awful to stream CSGO whilst getting like 300, 350 frames per second, right? At a good bit rate, right? So I needed a new PC, and the absolute homies at Acer Predator were just like, bruv, we got you. So they sent me over absolutely fire Orion 7000, I think it's called. I think it's this one. Hold on. This guy right here. I can't show you. I wanted to show you on my cam, but it's like literally all the way down here, and I have these like 17 cables plugged into my camera, and I just can't move it. But shout out to the absolute homies, because this computer has actually been saving my ass for the last few weeks. It's fire. I love this thing. It's so gamer too. It has like 20 fans in it, and they all do RGB stuff. And I didn't set any of the RGB. Like, it just came like this. So like, it's just making lights half the time. I don't even know what it's doing, but yeah, I've never had a pre-built before. I've always built my own computers. So congrats for new PC. Thank you. Yeah. I'm genuinely very excited. Shout out real talk, on God, for real, as the kids say. Shout out to Acer Predator, because this computer has been saving my ass. It has a 3080 and i7. It's like, dude, it's so sick. I can stream CS, record it, and play it at the same time, and like it's just, anyway, yeah, I had to chill because I am so excited about this computer. It has changed my life. Oh yeah, Dimitri, why are you using Windows 11? Yeah, there's no activate windows anymore. Y'all gonna be real sad about this now. Because specs look banger. Yeah, they are. They're a real banger. It's a 6 computer, bro. You know what the sickest thing about this computer is? I don't want to open my Windows because I don't want to like dox my hard drive. But you know what the sickest thing about this computer is? It has a 1 terabyte SSD. The last computer I built was in 2018, and so I still ended up putting like I think it was like a 250 gigabyte SSD as like the C drive, and having a 1 terabyte fucking C drive, bro, SSD. Oh my god, I have every game installed on there. It used to be that I had to like pick which games. Like I had CS installed on there, obviously. I think I had Siege installed there. But if I installed something else like Overwatch or like League or Valorant or Dota, whatever, I would always put it on the D drive. Now I can just put everything on the C drive. It's actually sick. Shout out to the low key the best thing about this computer, which is a 1 terabyte SSD. Activate Windows gang represent. I know, man. It's no more. It is no more. Unfortunately, it's over. It's over. You know what though? It was fun. Can we get some Fs in chat? Can we get some Fs in chat for the activate Windows era? that was a pretty banging. Era of the stream. You're making me feel bad for having a 2 terabyte SSD, dude. That is. You're slamming with an SSD that big. For real, on ga, oh my mama. No cap, no shot, no kizzy. It most likely just to be clear, it came with Windows 11. I didn't opt for Windows 11. Congrats on the beast living the dream. Thank you, dude. I'm psyched. I'm genuinely really psyched. Anyway, that's it. I had to do it a honest, like a true for real on God shout out to Acer Predator, because they just mailed it to me. They were just like, yeah, don't worry, we got you, and they just mailed it to me. Actually outrageously clutch. Okay, so let's do, I have to open CS first. Give me a second. And let's do let's try to game capture CS, shall we? Rest in peace Dimitri's old rig. Yeah, bro. I gave it to my fiance. She's using it now, so it still exists. Still going strong, but just opening Counter-Strike. I just saw Man's ready to dominate Modern Warfare 2 in 4K. Ooh, I got a case last night. Damn, I didn't realize. I pugged one before bed, so I didn't even see that I got one. After this, do a Valorant knife ranking and put every knife in F. I actually think there's some cool knives in Valorant. There's like 3 maybe that are like cool. Like I actually think they're cool. There's a lot I think are not cool. Okay, so let me just get this set up really quickly because I want to set up a game capture for. Will this work? I forget if I'm entrusted or untrusted. I played Face It last night. Is this not working? Really? Hold on. What if I like redo this? I mean, I can do fucking display capture. All right, let's just do display capture and hope this works. There we go. Cool. You guys have audio too? Yeah. Yeah, audio. Okay. Sick. All right. So I just wanted to open this so that I could hop into. I think the easiest thing to do, so I don't have to set up like with configs and shit, is to actually do loadout, melee, and I'm actually just gonna equip defaults, right? Yep. And then go to the CSGO hub because I can go into the room and I can just grab the knives. I saw you with the Recon Balisong. Yeah, no, it's the Recon is fire. I actually didn't even It's funny when they released that knife, the butterfly knife, the first one. I remember I was joking with Niall, and he was dead ass saying like, I can't wait for Riot to re-release this butterfly knife, with fucking Doppler effects, right? Like with RGB effects and shit. And sure enough, when they released the what the hell was it? What's it called? The like RGX or whatever, right? Like with the exact same animations and everything. It was just really funny. Yeah, the RGX is okay. My fiance uses one. I think it's extremely cool. I just obviously didn't buy it because I have the Recon already. I also like the vanilla Recon. I literally didn't unlock any of the camos. I just honestly think it looks the best. All right, so that's our thingy. Now we have to go to our tier maker. Oh, what the fuck? No, hold on. Tier maker CSGO knife. And let's reset. Everything. I'm also like gonna probably end up like changing my mind on this too. I was thinking about it even while I was getting ready to do it, right? What I'm gonna put in where. All right, so have I unboxed knives or bought them? I've unboxed. I mean, the vast majority of my knives I've purchased or traded for, all of these. But I have unboxed. Knives in the past. Yeah. Is Opera GX really worth it? Dude, shout out. I mean, like, we're partnered with them, like, full disclosure, but like I've started using it for the last little while, and like I actually think it's really sick. I think the integrations are actually incredible. I really, really enjoy using this just my camera. I'm really enjoying it. Thoughts on the Ion 2.0 bundle? I'm just not really a fan of Ion. I'm not really the guy to ask. I didn't really like the first bundle. I have a Valo knife, but it's Valo, so I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, no, true. True. How much is my inventory worth? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. No, I know I need the allow third party. I just wasn't sure if I had it on, is what I was saying. Lols. Because I've been juggling between Faceit and MM for the last week or so, depending on who I'm playing with, and so I just genuinely couldn't remember if what state my client was in when I opened it. Can we get a video on Markelov? Ooh. I remember doing a big, like, in-depth beat on Markelov when I did the story of the op. Because I watched Markelov. I was a huge fan back in, like, the golden age of, I guess that you call it the platinum age of 1.6 with Navi in 2010. Huge Markelov fanboy. I don't have a knife or gloves. Any tips for where to find the cheapest and best deals for them? The best prices, just across the board. And this is not, I want to be utterly clear, this is not a shill. I have no affiliations with any skin services, trading services at all. The best marketplace is this one, called Buff. This is the Chinese marketplace. You just need Buff Balance to buy skins on it. But this is the best marketplace for skins in the sense that these are the true prices. This is obviously Chinese RMB, right? So yeah, it's this is where you would theoretically get, like, if you're buying high tiers, this is where you'd want to buy them if you're going to go through a third party site. Otherwise, and this is just like sort of a plug to the homeboy, but Skinbid is a very, very great, like, very legit auction site for CSGO skins run by Zipple, who probably a lot of you know. He's a friend of mine, so that's why I'm saying it's sort of a plug, but I have no actual affiliation with Skinbid, nor does anyone, nor does the score, like, nor does anything. We don't have any affiliations. This is just what I personally use to buy my skins. I bought my butterfly lore off of Skinbid. I bought this knife off of Skinbid. Got a killer price on it too, right after it came out for the operation last year, and then it like shot up in fucking value as soon as I bought it. But yeah. The selection is not as big as Buff, obviously, because Buff is the single largest CSGO marketplace in the world. Nothing even remotely compares to Buff. It's so big. But Skinbit is good if you can like find certain deals. Like if you can find stuff that's being listed here that is like a solid price, you can sometimes get it for cheaper than on Buff. Basically everything else, every other third-party site will be more expensive. That's not to say they're bad. They're just going to be a little bit more expensive. Did Zywo use this? Yes, he did. This is the one that he used. This lore. I lent it to him for a few months. Hey, Dimitri, open the Cato 14 capsule. You will get Titan Hollow for sure. No cap. Yeah, if I had a Cato 14 capsule... I almost bought one, actually, like a year and a half ago, just as an investment. Deadass. But I was too scared to pull the trigger. And if I had one, I would definitely not open it. Am I originally from the USA? No, I'm from Canada. I am born and raised in Toronto, Canada. And originally from here. Like, my dad is Romanian, which is why my name is what it is. But... yeah. Isn't Hovnaval Flom's mod? Did he gift you that karambit? He is, in fact, Flom's mod. He's also a friend of mine. No, I lent him this karambit, and before he gave it back to me, he insisted on shamelessly plugging his YouTube channel. And I just was too lazy to take the name tag off. So here is the shameless plug for Hove's Twitch stream. Let's start with the ranking. I agree. Let's do it. All right, so let me just make sure I'm here. Let's, I'm just gonna do this because this is the easiest. Obviously, I can't get finishes, like I'm just gonna get vanilla here, but we're not doing finishes today. We're just doing knives. I might do a separate tier list where I do finishes. And obviously certain knives look better in certain finishes, and we can kind of talk about that on a case-by-case basis, obviously, for certain knives, but because we're just talking about knives, the vanilla skins are fine, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, no problem, Mike. Mike Tyson. It's he actually just happens to be a close friend of mine, independent of being a flaw mod. Dimmy, if you're casually showing off powerful CS:GO friends, that's me. Okay, let me close these tabs. All right, so first up. Ooh, oh, they move around. Ooh, survival knife. Okay, so where are you at, sir? Survival knife. That's the rare inspect for those who don't know, with the weird sort of suggestive little fondle thing there. It's yeah. Survival is a super cool looking knife. Like when you hold it like this, just in your FOV, it looks really cool. It has obviously nice default attack animations. It's sort of a wide knife. It's nicely sized. It is obviously mid. It's a mid knife. I think that the worst part about this knife is I think that the default inspect animation is not very nice. This animation right here, I don't think is very nice. There's just something about the way that it sort of sits in the hand that just isn't. It's kind of. Yeah. I think that the rare animation, which I'm trying to get, this one, is actually cool. I do think it is cool, but it's a little too passive for me. It's just like, yeah. The draw animation, the one I got first, the flip up, that one, is pretty sick. I will say that. It's pretty sick. And when you get one into the other like this, I do think it's cool. Obviously, this new set of knives, like these shattered web knives, are hurt by the fact that they don't have the new finishes yet. I think once you can get this knife in like a Doppler, I think actually that will do a lot for it. Like I think it will actually look pretty sick. But as is, I think this is a resoundingly B tier knife. I think it is extremely fair to say that it's B tier. I might even end up kicking it down to C tier depending on how these ones shape up. Actually, I think I'm even going to keep it in C tier for now. But I don't not like this knife, just to be clear. I actually don't think the survival knife is like bad. I gotta keep moving my camera because it keeps gravitating. I don't want you guys to have a weird POV. There we go. I think the survival knife is like resoundingly C tier. It might go to B. It might go up to B, but I'm going to be pretty stringent on these top three levels. So like, I think mid by definition is C tier for this list, right? Yeah, someone just said high mid because there's 3 above and there's 3 below. So if we put it in C, it is technically mid, right? So let's say C. Next, ooh, the paracord. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna get 2 shattered web knives in a row. This is the paracord. The thing about the paracord that is really, really, really cool is I think it looks good, like in the just the default FOV, like holding the knife like this. It obviously looks sick. It's got good swipe, like good attack animations. The fact that it has a special default inspection is cool. This is the rare inspect for those who don't know, which I actually don't like as much as I like this. I think this actually looks way better. Like the default animation, this animation looks cooler in my opinion than the rare animation, which is both good and bad because you're obviously going to get the regular animation more frequently than the rare one. So technically it's a good thing. But I think that a rare animation should be cool. Like I think it should feel cool, right? Anyway, in terms of the actual like knife aesthetic, it's sick. I do really like the titular paracord. I think that the grip looks really good. I do think this knife is sick. And like I would really love to see if they start changing the color of the paracord once they start releasing new finishes of this knife, right? Oh, I just skipped through the rare, that one. That is the rare draw animation for those who don't know. It's a sick knife. It's sort of disappointing, just like it's disappointing in the case of all the shattered web knives, that it has a default draw animation. I sort of wish that the draw animation was different for each of these knives, but alas, that's just not the way the cookie crumbled. In my opinion, this is... Oh, this is hard. This is hard, man. It's a good knife. It's a really cool knife, I have to say. But... this one's tough. It's here's what I'm at. It's either a very high C or a low B. It's a high C or a low B. Maybe let's say B. Handle mid. See, I think the handle's cool. Sorry, you're gonna get a black screen a little bit because of this screen change. It's unfortunate, but I think the handle's cool. I think that like the grip is actually one of the sickest things about this knife. C but above survival, that's sort of where I'm at. I'm sort of at the point where I'm saying C but above survival. It's definitely cooler than survival. I don't know if it's B tier, man, because I'm telling you, when we get to this, and you guys will see in a second, when we get to here, like I get really strict about what's here, right? And I think this is sort of a high C tier. I think this could change. Obviously, I think it might actually would be so confident to say that it will change once Valve starts releasing this knife in other finishes. I think this finish, because of the grip, because of the fact that they can change the color of the actual paracord, I think it will actually like really bolster the look of the knife. I just think that right now it's like fade or vanilla basically, or a slaughter if you happen to have like a red, you know, like a skin setup, which I don't, so I don't really use slaughter ever. I do think they're sort of your only choices. Is there a knife skin workshop? Yeah, there's a bunch. You can also just hop into like a surf map or a retakes map, and you can just like change the knives in menus and stuff. This is just the easiest, obviously, because I just get to pick them up willy-nilly. What's up, Asher? Hello. Oh, we got it, guys. We got our bot. Hold on. This one. Somebody snipe him, or do I have to snipe him? Boom. Easy. Quickest draw in the West. Quickest draw in the West. All right. So back to here. Back to tier list. I'm going to say very high C for now. Remind you guys, just to be clear, this can change. Over the course of the list, it can change. But right now, I think very high C tier is where I have it. Oh, the OG. The OG. All right, this is a good one. This is a good one. The classic knife, in my opinion, and it's not just because I'm a boomer, who has very fond memories of this knife and really enjoys it. I think, actually, you know what we should do? We should also, like, get out here and look at that draw, man. It's so sick. This knife is so sick, bro. We should just get, like, skin so we can, like guns. So we can see how they... It is a very, very, very cool knife. Unquestionably. Obviously, it carries a very special place in the heart of Counter-Strike OGs. Change to full screen borderless in CSGO. I actually forgot about that. You're right. Full screen. Wait, isn't this full screen borderless? Or do you mean full screen windowed? You mean full screen windowed, right? Because I think if I go full screen windowed, it'll make it so it will make the alt tab less jarring, right? Sorry, I'm waiting for chat delay. Yes. Cool. This one is going to be, I think it's going to be contested. Oh, I think I may have, oh no, did I open it too soon? Yeah, I think CSGO crashed. I think that this one's going to be contentious. I think that the classic knife is going to be contentious because I genuinely think that this knife is extremely, extremely, extremely cool. And I think for those who didn't play older versions of Counter-Strike, I think it's probably not going to hit the same. But I think that the classic knife is absolutely no lower than B tier. It's like you just, and it can be a low B tier. Because I told you, I'm being strict. Even for the knives that I like, I'm being really strict about what makes it in and what doesn't. Did it? Let's make sure the setting changed. Because sometimes it doesn't... Yeah, it did. I'm going to be very strict about what makes it in there. So, like, I could put it in A tier, like some of you in chat are saying, and I would be okay with that. But I gotta be fair. Because I told you, I'm going to be really fucking strict about what makes it in there. So, in my opinion, it's a very solid B. And remember, everything is relative, right? So, like... If we're gonna put the paracord as a high C tier, then that obviously inflects what we're gonna be putting in our B tier, right? So where is she? This one. So this I think the classic is absolutely a B tier. It's the draw animation is amazing. I love that they recreated it. It's just the inspect looks so good. I love the flippy flip. Who doesn't love the flippy flip? Give me the flippy flip. Give me the flippy flip, Gabe. There you go. It looks so good. And I also think this is one of the knives in the game where awesome budget option. Absolutely. This knife is a very, very, very good budget option. And I think it's one of the few knives in the game that unremittingly looks better in vanilla skin, just like this. Shout out also to the very high float slaughters, right? Because this is... correct me if I'm wrong, the higher the float goes on this knife, the more you start to see the sort of like gecko looking beige on the blade, right? So yeah, whenever you buy this knife and you don't buy vanilla, you actually want to buy higher floats. I think. Yeah, I think this knife is very, very, very cool. I think it's a really, really cool knife. They did a killer job with it, and I would love to see it in more finishes as well. Like, I think a Doppler, especially with that beige on the blade, could be fucking sick. I don't know if they ever will, but it looks really cool. Okay, so we're gonna put classic in. I think I'm gonna say low B because when we start filling this out, I think it's a low B tier, maybe a mid B, but we'll see. The karambit. All right, so where are you at, sir? The kata. I have one of the first knives now that I own. I love the karambit. I've loved it forever. It is obviously a literal staple of CSGO knives. One of the first, I think 2013, they put this knife in the game. What is there to say about the karambit that hasn't already been said? The karambit is... It's the karambit. It has an amazing draw animation that never, ever, ever gets sick of looking at. You can literally watch op shots pull into this animation all day, and it will always look sick. You can obviously do your little cool, like, infinite, flippies with it. It looks so good walking around. It looks good on basically any view model, which is something that's really worth taking into account. This knife also looks like, you see, for me, it cuts beneath my screen because I run a default, bob movement view model, which still looks really cool. Even though the tip of the blade is not visible, it still looks really good. It also looks really good on 4.3. And that's something that obviously is not a factor for me, but is a factor for a lot of people. This knife looks really, really good on 4.3. I remember on Twitter one time, somebody was talking about skins. I forget what the context was, but they mentioned to glaive, like knives, whatever. And I think it was the karambit. He said, doesn't look good on his view model because all of Astralis at the time was running the classic view model because they were all trying to make sure they had the same nade lineups, right? I don't agree. I think it looks good even when the tip is cut off like this. I think it always looks really good. The karambit is absolutely, unquestionably one of the coolest knives in CS:GO. There's just no question. It is even after like all these years. It is very, very, very cool. The hold animation like that, just the inspect is so clean. You can look at it forever. The way it loops back around, it's just, there's basically nothing about a karambit that is bad. It's just like the jack of all trades knife, man. There's just nothing about it that is not super cool. Yeah. It's just, and like the fact that it has it's as old as it is from 2013 and does not have a default inspect animation, like its default, this default animation is bespoke insofar as no other knife has anything like it, or at the time, obviously no other knife had anything like it, is extremely cool. Just look how sick it is, man, sitting in the hand like this. Like, the karambit, if you don't like the karambit, there's just something wrong with you, man. The fault is yours, not the knives. This knife is sick. It doesn't need to be your favorite. It's not my favorite, but it's very up there for me. It's an extremely, extremely, extremely cool knife. Very, very, very good. For me, the karambit, unquestionably A tier. Has to be A tier, for sure. Very, very, very comfortably sits up there. My view model has so much movement. It feels like, yeah, it does. I used to play without movement, and then I just decided that I actually liked it. I like the fact that it helps with counter strafing like this. You can see how it moves like this, right? It gives you a very like clean feel for when you are moving and when you're not moving. The only thing I don't like about it, because I'm an opper, is when you move. How do I like visualize this? The scope, I feel, is like bobbier. I've since changed the way that my crosshair moves when I op. Like now it's default, and doesn't move. But I think when you first switch to this default movement, it fucks up the movement on your crosshair and when you're opping, and it's really frustrating. Are you only doing types of knives, or are you gonna go through the skins? Today it's just knives. If I went through all the skins, I'd be here for fucking 13 hours. What's up, Xavier? Nice to see the classic in B tier. Yeah, I love the classic. I was just talking up about it. All right, so I think there's an argument this knife is S tier. I'm just very much a believer that the S tier has to be the elite of the elite. Like there can basically only be one S tier. So, but we'll get to that. So A tier karambit, unquestionably, and I think it's high A tier. Like I think this knife is arguably the best knife in CS:GO. It's very, very, very cool. It's also classic. Like the fact that they put this knife in the game in like 2013, and to this day, it's just so cool. It's just like, people still love looking at it. They still love playing with it. Like I think is just a testament to how awesome it is. Okay, the next knife, the falcon. Where are you, sir? Here you go. All right, falcon. Now, the falcon, interesting knife. Looks like absolute shit with my view model because of, again, the aforementioned movement. So you see this? This is just not a good look. I hate this right click. I hate it. It's always just bothered the shit out of me. The stab animation, which someone mentioned in chat before, I haven't actually gone through yet with other knives. The stab animation, when you actually hit somebody, extremely cool. I love that. Super, super sick. The way he, like, pops it back up in his hand like that. Obviously super sick. The left click is, like, very standard, obviously. The backstab is also cool. He does sort of like a thingy where he flips it back into his hand after he hits a backstab. The stab animations on this knife are actually surprisingly amazing. That is the rare inspect, for those who don't know. It's funny. I actually think that this is a really, 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 really sick knife. I think it's a really sick knife. I do. I think it's amazing. There are things about it that are not perfect, because like every knife, there's, you know, things that are not perfect. But the flippy stuff like this, super sick. The only thing that sucks about the falcon is this. The only thing that sucks about the falcon is this fucking draw animation. Homie. Like, I got my op out, right? And I'm holding an angle. I hit a shot. Look at that draw. Like, this is the most anticlimactic thing in the world, bro. Like, it's just literally, like, you hit a shot, and then you just... Sorry, I keep inspecting my reflex. But, like, you hit a shot, you draw the knife, and you just do this little, like, foldy motion. This knife has an amazing inspect animation, obviously. This is super cool, right? It has a very cool stab animation. It has a very cool rare, which I will pop up in a second. Yeah, it's a very, very, very cool knife. On every count, except when it comes to the way that it interacts with the actual guns in the game, right? So when you hit a sick op shot and you switch to your knife, that, like, it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, if you hit a cool shot and you, like, you know, jump and pull your knife out, like, that's what you've done, right? It doesn't have that sort of really sick, flashy draw that other knife skins have, right? And I just think that's the only thing really that you can hold it against it. I think the knife, if you're just walking around, is really fun to play with. You know, if you're at the start of a round and you're running towards banana and you look at yourself doing these cool inspect animations, this is sick. This is really cool. Who wouldn't like this? It's awesome. The problem is the second you pull a gun out and you actually start, like, trying to shoot dudes, it's just like, you know, let's get an AK, right? Like, look at that. Like, it's just... It just doesn't interact well with, like, the actual skins, like the actual guns. That's it. That's it. I just think that the knife is sort of perfect if you're taking it. Jesus Christ. First shot accuracy. The inspect should be the draw. I don't disagree. The problem is that, like, oh, you're saying the inspect should be the draw. I misunderstood. I thought you were saying, like, it should be the draws and it should be the attraction. Yes, the inspect, if the inspect were the draw, I genuinely think this knife would actually be a lot better. I think it would actually be a much, much more compelling knife. As is, the falcon is really cool, but sort of disappointing. I hate that one hand is out of view when I walk with it. I hate that I walk around with one hand like this. It just looks so... I don't know. It just looks weird. Like, I'm not into it. It doesn't have, like, a strong aura about it. You know what I mean? It's just not, like... Oh, I realized what it is. Sorry, guys. I'm just trolling you. I realized that I changed my sensitivity for something yesterday. It's not my actual sense. That's what's throwing me off. Yeah. Anyway, this is cool. I think it's sick. I think it's 100% B tier. I'm gonna put it ahead of the classic knife because I do think that it is a very, very cool knife. And for what it's worth, I think this knife is very, very, very underrated. I seriously think people who don't think that the falcon is cool are just wrong. I genuinely think they're wrong. This knife is badass. It's super, super sick. But I do not think it hangs in A tier. It's just, there's too many things about it that I would change. I think the falcon, like the Bowie, and we'll get to this in a second, yeah, someone's Mike Tyson says I want to see both hands. LOL. The same reason I hate the Bowie. This is the thing. This is, and we'll get to this in a second. This is the thing about this knife, like the Bowie. There's too many things I would change about it, and if I could change them, I think this knife would be A tier. I honestly think that if they just made a few adjustments to this knife, it would absolutely be A tier. It's so cool, man. Like, look at this, right? Like, it's the way you can finesse with it is so badass. But when I pull it out after killing somebody, or when I walk and it's like this, and I just have this little, like, edge coming out of the center of my screen, right? I'm not into it. So, Falcon is sick. I think it's a mid to high B tier, which in my list is genuinely is high. But yeah, really good eco starting option. Absolutely, if it's a good budget option, and you can like I would do a sapphire, you know, falcon with Pandoras, like that, or like a black pearl with Pandoras. Like that would look really sick, right? Like you can get sort of like a high tier finish on a nice mid range option like this. What's wrong with the bowie? We'll get to that. It's gonna be B tier. The bayo. The bayo. All right, so I am currently in the process of trying to secure myself a bayo. I want to get myself a sapphire bayo. I'm just trying to find someone who can trade me one because I'm looking to do a trade for one at the moment. The original bayonet. I have a lot of thoughts about this knife. So this knife is too skinny. People have made jokes before about it looking like a certain pencil something. And I think I agree. It's too skinny. I think the handle is too skinny. I think the blade is too skinny. I hate how thin it is in the hand. I don't like the fact that the knife, when you get in different finishes, the color of the grip and the color of the like what's it called, the hilt, does not change. I don't like that. There's a lot about this knife that I don't like. I think that the knife is too skinny. I think the color on the hilt should change. Like if I get a Doppler Sapphire M9, the color of the hilt is navy blue, right? And the base of the knife, the butt of it, is navy blue. But if I get a Sapphire Bayo, this one, it's going to be silver. If I get an Emerald, it's going to be silver. This grip is going to be this ugly gray color no matter what the finish is. With the exception of lore, obviously, and like black laminate and stuff. I'm just talking about like Doppler and stuff like that. So there's a lot about this knife I don't like. But you are fucking trolling if you do not think the Bayo has the single sickest draw animation of any knife in CSGO. There is no question, bro. The draw animation on this knife, I swear that I can actually have better movement when I'm opping and bunny hopping with this fucking knife. When I have when I'm using this knife. It genuinely feels to me like this knife just gives you sick movement. There's something about it that is just absolutely so clean, man. I love this fucking, let me get my op instead of the AK. I love this draw animation so much. And when you when you hit a shot and you pull this knife out, it looks so cool. Absolutely so cool. Look at that. The way it pulls out. It's just like the floaty, the flippy. It's so sick. The inspect animation leaves to be something to be desired in the sense that it's just because the knife looks so skinny, it just doesn't really look good in the hands when it's being moved like this. But, you know, obviously the swipes are cool. The stabs are cool. I mean, the stabs are default. I can go show them for those who don't know, but it twists on your wrist when you pull it out. Yes, but every knife has weird clipping shit like that. I'm trying to get behind the homie. Hold on. There. And then if you get behind like that, yeah. This knife is extremely cool. I still think it holds up. There's a reason I'm still trying to buy one, and I think that it honestly gives you crazy movement, bro. I swear to God. It's just absolutely sick. I think that this knife... Ooh... Why don't I use standard view model? You're gonna think I'm a troll. I use the couch view model. Game? Where the hell is it? I always forget where it is. HUD? Game? I use config for this stuff, so I always forget where it is in the menu. I use this one, view model position desktop. I can do classic for the video. It's fine, yeah. But I don't use classic when I play. Yeah, this knife is, in my opinion, it is either a very, very low A or a very high B. Or like, when I say very high B, I mean like, oh, dude, it's so high. It's like the highest. It's the single highest B. There's just like, it's the bottom of A. We will see as we go. But this knife is incredible. And like the way that the draw animation segues into the inspect animation is just, bruh. It's so nice. I love this fucking knife. It's so fucking cool. Is it overshadowed by the M9? Yes. Except in the draw animation. The M9 is better than this knife in literally every way, in every single way, and it's one of the reasons why the M9 is the M9, except in the draw animation. The M9 also has an amazing draw animation. We'll get to that, but this draw animation is just absolutely the coolest thing in the world. The flippy over the flippy, you know, and like when you're bunny hopping with it and all, it just looks so fucking good. Everyone's saying A, come on. Look, man, low A. I can put it low A. I think this knife is low A. I think this knife is genuinely so fucking cool. And like, I'll leave it here for now. And then we'll see as we adjust. But I do think it's definitely low A. Like, I think everything that will go here will absolutely be higher. But it is very, very, very cool. Okay, flip knife. I'm still man, anyone out there with a sapphire with a sapphire bayonet is looking to trade, DM me, hit me up, because I am in the process of trying to secure myself one right now. I love this knife. Okay, the flip knife. Flip knife. What is there to say? It's among the first knives, if not the actual first knife? Question mark. I haven't looked this up in a long time, but it might actually be the this knife was for sure released in 2012. I want to say it was released in 2012. You know what I just realized? I can turn on the super fancy anti-aliasing for this video, for the stream. Yeah, there we go. So you guys can actually really see. So yeah, it is. I would actually say that it's a flip knife go burr. I would say. Yeah, the flip knife is weird. Its blade is larger than the handle, so it can't fit in. It's a weird knife. Yeah, I actually don't think it's ugly. I think the draw animation is, like, very not nice. It's subpar. The inspect is not very cool. It's just, it has all the default stab animations, obviously. In my opinion, the flip knife is just not a great knife. I don't think it's ugly. I do genuinely not think that it's ugly. I think if you had... the flip knife and the bayonet knife were the beta test default knives. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. I forgot the bayonet was also one. I was about to say it for flip knife, but I didn't want to be wrong. I forgot that the bayonet was also one. Yeah, because this was, yeah, a 2012 knife, I remember. Which also, just to revisit the bayonet for a second, also a testament to how fucking amazing it is that after all these years, that the knife still holds up. Right, like that draw animation is still so fucking cool, despite the fact that was literally made as like a, you know, like a beta knife, right? The flip knife, man. It's gotta be E tier. It's gotta be E tier, man. I can't possibly, in good faith, put it. I can't possibly put it in good faith up with even like the survival or the paracord. Like maybe I could be talked into D tier, maybe. But I seriously, man, I am not a fan of the flip knife. It's not ugly. It's like okay, but like, you know, like it looks fine, but it's like it's just not cool, dude. It's just not cool. Like there's nothing about it that has like any saving fucking grace. It's just, and the draw animation is just like not, there's like just nothing cool about it. At least D. I don't know, dude. I think the flip knife is not great. I'm gonna leave it. Maybe D tier. Actually, you know what? Maybe D tier. Let's put it in D tier because let's put it in D tier. Let's put it in D tier for now. But it's the Ken Yes knife. That's true, actually. Who else? I know there's other people who use it as well. At least it is an F. Yeah. What's the name of the map? This is the ESL. What the hell is it called? The CS:GO Hub. CS:GO Hub. That's what it's called. You can download for free in the Steam Workshop. No affiliation with ESL, by the way. Obviously, I just use this map because it's easy. Yeah. All right. Let's leave it in D tier for now. I don't know. We'll see. We'll leave it in here for now. And that's a very low D tier, and maybe it'll kick its way down. Yes. Yes. The gut knife. All right. The gut knife is generally regarded by a lot of people. Where the fuck is it? There it is. As the single worst knife in CSGO. It is generally considered to be the single worst knife in CSGO. Do I agree? I agree to a point. I agree that this knife is not particularly fucking cool. And by not particularly fucking cool, I mean it is ugly as fuck. It is not a nice knife. It looks like dog shit in the hands. Like, look how far out it protrudes from the back of my gloves. Like, look how far out it protrudes, right? And like how high up the hand is on it. The blade, the proportions are just like super, super, super ugly. In the inspect looks terrible just because of, again, how far it comes down. I think the top of this knife actually doesn't look that bad. It's sort of like a brutalist, aesthetic, which is fine. Like, for real, that's fine. When I was streaming Hot Retakes a week or two ago, someone in chat made a really good point where they said the thing about the gut knife is that it looks weird because of the fact that they shoehorned all of like the traditional CSGO knife finishes onto it, right? So for instance, seeing like an emerald gut knife, right, or like a tiger tooth gut knife or whatever, looks fucked because of how, like, because of the fact that this knife looks like it should have like a very like rough, brutal. In my opinion, the gut knife looks the best when it's like rust coat, right? When it's like a really gritty fucking rust coat with like some leather bands, like leather band gloves. Like, I know Forrest, I think, has a, because obviously for those who don't know, Forrest is like super into rust coat. I think he has a gut knife rust coat. It looks really, really good when you have it in like sort of a rough looking finish. I think for a lot of other finishes, it just looks really out of place and it just looks really weird. I think this knife is absolutely, unquestionably a toss-up. It is a toss-up with one other knife for the single worst knife in CSGO. I think it's just not even a conversation. Like, the only redeeming quality about this knife is the fact that it has the huntsman spin animation, which is sick. The spin animation is cool. The problem, obviously, is that if you want this spin animation, you should probably just buy a huntsman, because the huntsman, which we will get to, is actually cool. So, like, yeah, it has the flippy huntsman thing, which is sick. But again, if you want that, just buy a huntsman. I do think the top of the knife looks pretty sick. That sort of like whale hook, fishing hook, whatever thing is actually cool. I actually think it's cool. My issue is just everything else. The handle looks like shit. It's way too long. It's way too big. I think if they made this knife a little bit shorter in the handle, it might look better, actually. Someone in chat says, yeah, it's only gross mainly because of the handle. I agree, actually. I think the blade is actually fine. I think the handle is just what's rough. So here's the thing. In my opinion, this knife is... Did I watch today's TI? Yeah, it was really sad to see energy. I was also very sad about RNG or I'm assuming, sorry, what am I saying? Yes, not NRG. RNG. It was also really sad to see EG lose the upper bracket game. I love that for Thunder. It's super sick for them, don't get me wrong, but as a long time EG fanboy, dude, ask me how I knew after going 14 and fucking 4 in groups or whatever the hell it was that they were going to lose their first upper bracket series. Ask me how I knew that. What knives have been ranked so far? These are the knives that have been ranked so far. So here's the thing about the gut knife. The gut knife is either E or F, depending on. It is a toss-up. It is a toss-up between for the worst knife in Counter-Strike, and the only other contender, in my opinion, the only other title contender is the fucking Navaja, dude. The fucking Navaja is actually just. This knife. What is that? What is that? Who wants this? Who in what universe? Like, it looks like a Victorian aristocrat is about to go and just like fucking Assassin's Creed you with this thing. Like, what is this? Like, it's just like, and like the little ornate like etching on the blade is actually really cool, obviously, but like, This knife is like barely a knife, dude. It's like, it's a fucking, this is literally a kitchen utensil. Like, this is a letter opener. Like, I think, honestly, that it's a toss-up. I think it's a toss-up. One is E and one is F. I'm just not sure which. I'm a firm believer that tier lists should have one S tier and one F tier. Like, one is the best and one is the worst. So they can't both be F tier and they can't both be E tier with nothing. One of them needs to be F tier. I just don't know which one it is. Is the gut knife worse than the navaja? Elise uses navaja. Yes, he does. I believe that Stanislaw also uses the navaja. Gut is better. Gut F then. Gut doesn't deserve F. Navaja F. I am sort of inclined. To agree that gut knife might actually be better. I honestly am. The gut at least has a cool draw animation, as somebody says. It has a cool draw animation, and where are you? I'm blind. Yeah. It has a cool draw animation, and it's a big knife. Like, it is a fucking hefty boy. Look at this lad. Look at this absolute unit of a knife. He's a big, hefty lad. And, like, I think the blade, the front of this blade here, like this, like, hooky thing, is really cool. And I think that the only real issue with it is the handle. I think the handle goes too deep. Like, it's too long, right? Like, it needs to be a little shorter. As someone who doesn't, as a person who doesn't play CS nor has seen these skins before, the gut is better. I agree. I think the gut actually gets sort of a bad reputation. It is absolutely E tier. There's no question about that. But I do think that people sort of falsely accuse the gut knife of being the worst knife in Counter-Strike. I think the navaja is worse. I think the gut knife has a handful of redeeming qualities, and I think it's actually not as like shitty as people make it out to be. That's it. Should have had a metal handle. I think the wood handle looks sick. I just think it goes too long. I think, like, look at the way it holds in the hand and the inspect, and look at the way it holds here. You see how far it comes out the bottom, like out the bottom of the glove? Like, it's just too long. Like, why is it so fucking long, bro? Like, you know? Look at that. Why? Why is it so long? I don't know. It's just the proportions are weird, man. The proportions are really weird. All right. So let's say gut knife is E, navaja is F. Navaja is the worst knife. The Skelly. Ooh, the Skelly. All right. My first knife was a navaja. Don't be sad, bro. I unboxed the navaja. I unboxed a marble fade navaja. Bro, do you know how sad I was when I unboxed a marble fade navaja? I did that fucking... Is it the Onapixel thing? I can't remember the thing of, like... Maybe it wasn't him. The you unbox something in a finish and you're just like, or a knife, like vice versa, and you're like, but what if it was a ... right? Like, if I unboxed a marble fade like M9 or like a marble fade fucking like, you know, karambit or whatever, right? But instead I get a marble fade fucking navaja. Come on, man. Gotta do me like that. All right, Skelly. So, what do I really, really like about the skeleton knife? I like just about everything about the skeleton knife. The inspect animation, the finger through the hole with the hold up like this, absolutely sick. Absolutely sick. This is unquestionably the best of the shattered web knives. Unquestionably. It's the best of the bunch, right? So, of the survival, paracord, and nomad, unquestionably this is the best knife. And I think that when this knife eventually releases in Doppler finishes, I think we might see a sapphire skeleton become one of the most expensive knives in the game, like alongside like butterfly and M9. I think we're gonna see that a Doppler finish become a skeleton become expensive. This default is amazing. This default inspect is absolutely fucking incredible. The swipes look really good. It looks amazing in the hand. That rare draw animation is absolutely fucking amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing. It looks absolutely incredible. Everything about this knife is fucking incredible. The vanilla is also really, really, really cool. I pulled one yesterday. Oh, shit, Max. Good for you, dude. What did you pull? What finish was it? Hold F on rare animation on skeleton. Yeah, so if you hold the F on the rare, it'll just go forever. I think Flom used to call this the helicopter. Or was that Anomaly? No, it was Anomaly, right? Who did the fucking... Yeah. There is only one thing, in my opinion, that prevents this knife from being S tier. This knife is A tier. Unquestionably, it is A tier. There is only one reason why it is not S tier, and that is the draw animation. Is this fucking default draw animation that all the other knives have. Look at this. Give me the spinny spin. Give me the spinny spin. Give me the spin. That one. Why could that not have been the default animation? And then they could pick something else for the rare. This draw, this one, I hate it. I hate it so much. It's so boring, man. I op a dude, and then I pull that out, and that's what I see. I hate it. I love this. I love this. And I love this. Super cool. This, I hate. I hate. No. When I say default, I mean default for these others. Hold on. I mean, like, hold on. This one is the same as... Like, that's the rare. This Ursus draw is the same as this. It's the like, Someone's gonna clip that out of context and it's gonna be super weird. Yeah, this is the thing, right? It's just, it's the same sort of like pull, like pulls, it holds it, pulls, it holds it, pulls. That's what I mean when I say it's default. Obviously, it's not default in the sense in which like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like fucking the default, like, where's the like actual knife, right? No, not this one. It's not default in this sense. I don't mean like it's just like I just mean it's default in the sense that it shares the same draw animation with all these other knives. Like Ursus, it has the same. Nomad, it has the same. Paracord, it has the same. Survival, it has the same, right? You can literally see. I'm obviously getting some rares here, but you can see. It's the same for all of them. That's what I don't like. I don't like that it has the same animation as these other knives where it just pulls out, right? That said, unquestionably, A tier. I don't know if it's above or below the bayonet. I don't think it's above the karambit, but I do think that it's definitely let's say it's here. Let's say it's here. Now the Ursus isn't as good as the skeleton. I agree, but I just think no knife in CS:GO is like perfect. Like there's obviously things we would change about basically all of them. This is the only thing that is a con in my opinion about the skeleton is this draw animation. I don't like this draw animation. I think it's boring. I want a spinny spin. Why don't I have a spinny spin? Where's my spinny spin? Look at that. That's what I want, bro. Give me the spinny spin. That's what I want, dude. Give me spins. Give me helicopters. That's what I want. That's it. But absolutely mid-A tier. Absolutely. Skeleton knife is the best knife put into the game in years. Unquestionably, the best knife put into the game in years. The Talon. Okay. Where are you, sir? Where are you? I'm so fucking blind today. I can't see anything. Where's this knife? Here it is. Give him the spinny spin, Gabe. That's what I'm saying, Gabe. Where's my spinny spin, bro? Give me the spinny spin. All right, Talon. So, the Talon, I believe it was TDM Jesus who said that the Talon is basically a karambit with a broken spine. It's a very, 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 very cool knife. I really love the pearl. That's the rare, the whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The spinny spin, which is cool. It is definitely, this, holding it like this is really cool. I really like the ivory grip. I think the ivory grip is very cool. It looks incredible with king snakes. It looks incredible with just about any glove. Because as it turns out, if you put white ivory on something, it's gonna look good with basically fucking everything. Hell, it literally even looks good with fucking Pandora's. Like, it looks good with everything. So, the knife itself is super sick. It's obviously just a karambit copy with some extra animations. I think, what do I think? I think that the talon is markedly worse than the karambit. I don't think it's as cool. I don't think it's as cool as the karambit for a variety of reasons. There's just some things about this knife that I really don't like. I don't like the rattly noise. Hear that? Yeah, some people in chat are saying the noises are so annoying though. Same reason why the noise is, I don't know what the fuck that is, but I don't like it. The rare inspect, sorry, that's my Glock. The rare inspect, the spinny spin is fine. Why can't I get it? Cut me some slack here, Gabe. I asked Gaben for the fucking spinny spin. There it is. The spinny spin is okay. It's fine. But there's one thing about this knife. Now he's giving me every spinny spin. Jesus Christ. There's one thing about this knife that I really don't like. I think the blade looks okay. I don't think it looks as good. Actually, this is sort of a hot take. I don't think it looks as good in the hand as the karambit does. You see the way the blade like kicks out the side of the knife, like the side of the glove. The blade here looks so cool, man. Like, look how sick it looks in the hand. I think that the fucking talon, like, this knife looks so good in the hand. This knife looks worse? I don't know. There's something about it that I just don't like. There's something about how, like, rugged or, like, rigid that it looks. I just don't like it. Yeah, I don't like the way it looks in the hand. I like the way it looks like this. I think in the hand, like, here, like, walking around with it, like, in the hand, like this, looks sick. But I don't like the way it looks when you're actually, like, physically holding it. But the one thing I really, really, really fucking hate about this knife is the draw animation. What is this? What is this? Like, he just, like, huh. It looks so ugly, bro. Like, whenever you pull this knife out and you don't do an inspect, it just looks so ugly. Look at that. There's actually not a lot about this knife that I just, like, aggressively hate. But look at that pull animation. It just looks so, like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. Why is he like pulling it out and then pulling it back in? Why is he like pulling it out and pulling it back in? It looks so unnatural. You know? Like, what is this? Whereas if you look at the karambit one, it goes all the way around. Look at the way he pulls it out. It looks like I'm going to hit myself with it, someone just said. Exactly. Like, when you pull out the karambit, it goes fully around the finger. Fully around the finger. Look how sick that looks. This is like, where are you? This one. Looks better in 4.3. Yeah, maybe. I just think this knife, believe it or not, it's better than the karambit. Nah, I don't think it is, man. I don't think this knife is better than the karambit at all. The karambit is better in, like, basically every way. The only thing about this knife that is better is the fact that it has all of the special animations, like the unique rares that the karambit does not have. But I think that even with all of its, like, standard predictable animations, I think the karambit still looks better than the fucking talon. Yeah, the momentum of pulling it out, then he just stops it. Why? Look at that. Look at that. It's so ugly. It's just like... And if you, like, you know, segue it into an inspect animation, obviously it looks okay. Like that. See how it, like, loops around the hand? It's okay. But the thing is that you have to connect one into the other. It just looks like shit. I don't think it's better. I don't think it's better than the karambit. I think if you're absolutely capping if you say it's better than the karambit. I do. I genuinely think you're fucking capping if you think it's better than the karambit. Yeah, it's definitely not. Talon handle is better than karambit handle. Still think karambit handle is the same as a $10 kitchen knife I had in college. I said before when I started talking about this knife, I think that the handle is the best part about this knife. The ivory inlay on the handle is by far the best thing about this knife, for sure. For sure. I guess the karambit also has the heritage of being one of the best knives since 2013. That's also the thing, right? The karambit is so iconic, and after all these years, it still looks amazing. You know how much I have to fucking pay? Because I was looking into it the other day. You know how much I have to pay to get a sapphire a sapphire karambit. Now, don't get me wrong. A sapphire talon is also expensive. It is, obviously. But do you have any idea how fucking expensive it is to get yourself a sapphire karambit? Like, there's a reason this knife, despite being from 2013, I know the sapphires are not from 2013, but like, despite the fact that this knife has been around from 2013, it's still more expensive than this knife. This is still more expensive than this. Because this knife is just so timeless. It's so classic, bro. Whereas this knife is just like, it's just, what is that? I don't know. I hate this draw animation, bro. 10K for Kara? Yeah, 10K. It costs you about 10K, about 50,000 won for a sapphire karambit. And this one, I mean, we can look it up. I closed buff. Am I still logged in? If I'm not logged in, I won't look it up. I am. Here, let's see. Kara Doppler. Kara Doppler, we knew this one. This is, let's double check it. Let's take a little field trip. This is sapphire. It's even more now. It's even more, well, it's more for me because I live in Canada. So the general rule for a won is you divide by 5 for Canadian dollars. So it's about 50,000 won to get a Kara sapphire, right? And then let's say talon Doppler. How much? It looks nice. Don't get me wrong. The sapphire is really nice. But how much is it? Oh, Jesus. It's like literally 20,000 less. Right? And I'm not saying price determines everything. I'm not out here saying that like price is like aesthetics should be like completely determined by price. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's a reason why one is 20,000 fucking won more than the other. Right? And that's just because it's people, like, the knife speaks for itself. Like, people love the knife, right? So anyway, yeah, let me, so where does it go? Where does it go? Price is based on demand after all. Exactly. Yeah. A sapphire Kara is more expensive than a blue gem talon says a lot. It absolutely says a lot. It absolutely says a lot. Yeah. Like it's 100%. Yeah, Easton. No, it is. As we just showed, it's the other way around. Yeah. Just means talon is underrated. I don't think talon's underrated. If anything, to be completely honest, I think it's overrated. I think that the knife is actually not as good as people think it is. A mid B, a B. I think it is. I think it's a very, very, very high B. I think it's a very high B. And some people might fucking crucify me for that, but I think that it's a very high B tier. I don't think it's A tier. I honestly don't think it's A tier. There's just too many things that I would change about this knife. I don't think it's A tier. I don't think. And one of the reasons I'm hard on this knife is because this knife was introduced into CSGO, when was it? 2018, right? 2018 it was introduced into CSGO. And so it literally, they had every opportunity basically to like iterate upon the Kara in a way that was cool. They had 5 years, 6 years, whatever it was, right? To come up with ways to make the Kara cooler. And they just made a worse version of the karambit. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm hard on it. Is like, there are things about the original bayonet that I can overlook, imperfections I can overlook, because the knife is from fucking 2012, right? Like, the knife is so old that like CS:GO knives were not even a fraction of what they are now, right? So like, obviously Valve like did not know what should go into a great knife and blah 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 blah, right? But I think by the time they released the Talon, they should have known better. And they should have made a cool knife. That's one of the reasons why the skeleton is so cool. Because they knew what went into a good knife. They knew how to make a good knife by 2020 or 2019. This knife came out in 2019, yeah. So yeah, I think it's a very high B tier. That's my take. Nomad. I know Apex loves this knife. He uses the Nomad fade. That's the rare draw animation. I'm getting a lot of, wow, Jesus. Is that... Oh, no, it's not the rare. What the hell am I saying? The rare is when he cuts himself. I was just like, hold on a minute. yeah, no, my bad. That is the random... So then, hold on. Let me correct myself, because I wanted to make this... I should correct myself from earlier. I said that all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all had the same draw animation. Obviously, that's not the case for the nomad. So the ursus has that, the paracord has that, the survival has that, and the skeleton has that. The nomad does have a different one. So that I stand corrected. So would I rather see new knives or new finishes? I mean, I would always say yes to seeing new knives. I think every CSGO player would always say yes to seeing new knives. That said, I do think that there are certain knives that we absolutely have to see. That's the rare, by the way. Do have to see in new finishes. For instance, I need a Doppler skeleton, bro. Give me a Doppler skeleton. Like, this knife is going to sell like fucking hotcakes when they give me a Doppler skeleton. But I would basically always still say new knives. I feel like Nomad would be so much better with the Huntsman open animation. So here's the thing about the Nomad. It's a very, very cool knife. That's the standard inspect, which I actually think looks really good. There's something about this knife that I think looks really good in the hand. It's a very nice, sturdy, cool knife. It looks really sick. It does look really sick. I like the way it looks in the hand. I like the way it looks when it's being inspected. I can do the rare in a second. The rare is really cool on this knife, actually. There's something about like slow walking up Vertigo A ramp or something when you're inspecting this knife and you get the rare, you get this one and you're like, oh, that looks so sick. It looks good. I also think that the draw animation is really cool. I do like this like pull by the blade. And for those who don't know, the rare one is when he cuts himself. I'll try to get it so we can see it. Can we just fucking... Gabe, buddy? I'm not cutting it too early, right? No, I'm not. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Give me my fucking animation. There we go. That's it. I think it's cool. I think it's funny. I think it's cheeky. I think it's adorable. Like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's a very, very, very solid knife. It's a very solid knife. It looks really good in the hands. It's cool. It's clean. There is one thing about this knife that I don't like. And that is, like, this animation, this inspect, very sick. Very, very, very sick. I love that. One thing I don't like is that if you draw this knife and you go right into the F, you cancel the animation. This right here. This is the thing that I really don't like about this knife. It teleports from one side to the other. See that? It's just gone. And so obviously if you start using the knife, you have to not press your inspect button after you draw it. Like that. This. I think this sucks. I don't think that's cool. I don't think it's really cool that you kind of can't really segue one into the other. It looks so ugly. Look at this. It's like looks glitchy as hell. Not a fan. It's the only thing about this knife that I don't like. That's it. It's not a big deal because obviously if you own one, you can just sort of like, you know, time your inspects to after you pull it out like that, obviously. But as someone who uses knives where you actually... Magic. Yes. Now you see it, now you don't. I think that's the only thing about this knife that I would actually hold against it. I don't think... I mean, the whip out animation is still 20 times better than the inspect animation. I don't disagree. I just think that you should be able to set, like just to take a really good example, both the Kara and the base. See that? Draw, inspect, draw, inspect, draw, inspect. Draw, inspect, draw, inspect. This one, it just feels to me like even this, draw, inspect. This, I can't do. I give a knife. I can't do it. It like literally teleports into my hand. Like that. Right? So what is this knife? Oh, man. This is tough. 1 out of 5 for playability? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, dog. Give me the A? Oh, dude. Come on. Don't troll me. I want to say definitely above talon. Lower than talon. Okay. Low C, mid B. Look, here's where I'm at. I'm basically going to say this is either a very, like, a C or an ultra low B. But I don't even think it's an ultra low B. I think it's right around with the other shattered webs. I think basically it is not as nice as the paracord, but maybe a little bit nicer than the survival. This is sort of where I'm at. I think that it fits really nicely here. And keep in mind, some of you might be sort of looking at this and being like, oh, well, like nomad in C, gasp, Dimitri, how could you? But look at this. I also put all the other three, like the other two shattered web knives here, obviously leaving aside the skeleton, which we all agree is A tier. But like these three knives I think are on par. I think C is actually respectable. I do. I don't think C is bad. You've seen the list that how many tiers I have here, right? Like C is by definition mid. 3 above, 3 below. It's mid, right? So for my list, the way that I have this here set up, C is absolutely respectable. It does not mean it's a shitty knife. It does not mean that I think this is a shitty knife. I don't think any of these knives are shitty. I think these are really cool. Here and below is when I start to actually have bad opinions about knives. These I think are super cool. I would run a nomad. 100%, bro. If I could get like a black pearl nomad, which fingers crossed one day, Valve, please, I'd run it. I think it's sick. I would run any of these knives in better finishes. 100%. It's time. It's time, ladies and gents. It is time. It is time. It is time. I can't. I was going to load out of the map, and I was going to actually... Can I just replace it for... What the hell am I on? I'm on T side right now, right? Yeah, hold on. Do I have to kill myself? I can't remember. Hold on. There we go. There it is. All right. The M9 bayonet. The M9 bayonet. I'm just going to run mine because... No, you know what? Is that cheating, guys? Is it cheating if I run mine? Because we use no finishes for any other knives. It's cheating if I use mine, right? Tell me it's cheating and I'll believe you. I want to be fair. I said at the outset, I was going to be very fair. I was not going to be biased. I was going to be super fair. So let's maybe say... I'll flex mine really quickly, and then maybe let's say that I don't... do that. Place for T. It's rigged. Yeah, somebody just said laugh my ass off rigged. No. Hold on. Wait, what? Wait, give me a sec. I thought I just changed it out. Oh, load out. For T. I did it. What the fuck? Oh, I have to load back in, don't I? All right. Give me a sec. I'll be fair. I'll load back in. Because I think it is genuinely rigged if I use mine. Cheating. Everybody says cheating. Everybody says not biased at all. All right. We're coming back in. Wow, looks like a beautiful ornamental dagger. I know, right? Vanilla M9 is the best version anyway. I mean, that's not false. I'm a lore fucking shill. Like, I'm a huge lore stan. But let's not cheat. All right, M9. Here you go. This is the M9 vanilla. Oh, the M9, man. What is there to say? About the M9? The M9 is basically... It is the biggest, baddest...
Let's make a difference with our pre-loved phones. By bringing back your devices to be upcycled or...
Can we not, though? Jesus Christ. What in God's name? Guys, that just scared the shit out of me. I feel violated. What just happened? All right, so. The M9 is the biggest, baddest, beefiest, most beastly knife in CSGO. It has the best handle. It has the best blade. It has the best hilt. It is, pound for pound, we are talking, if I just sit it right here, no animations, it is the best knife in CSGO. The single best. If you just have it right here on the screen. It is so badass. It is genuinely so, yes, biggest, baddest, thickest, most turgid knife in CSGO. It looks incredible. It looks so good. It obviously, when you inspect it, it looks amazing. It has basically the best default inspect of any knife. Like, it just looks the best when he rotates it in his hand like this versus any other knife with a similar one. Like, the Bayo obviously has the default as well, right? The Huntsman has the default, the flip knife, etc., etc. Of all of these, like, first, second generation knives that have this default one, it looks by far the best. It is the best knife, unquestionably. It looks the best on the screen. It's the most designed. Everything. Blah, 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 blah. It also looks, animation goes through the thumb. Yes, I know. I said this before. Somebody else mentioned it with, what the hell was it? Was it like, bro, if you slow down these animations, all of them clip. If I slow down any of these, it clips through the fingers, right? Like, this is the only thing about all knives in CS. There's no knife with like a so-called perfect animation. They all clip in some way, shape, or form, right? So to say that the M9 clips through the thumb and that's like a shot against it is just not, it doesn't really change anything. So the thing about the M9, the draw animation, unbelievable. I genuinely believe that, like, let me get my my Opa. I genuinely think that if you go like off shot into M9 is by far one of the coolest fucking, it looks so good, bro. This knife is absolutely incredible. The spinny spin in the hand is perfect. It's the best. I love it. I wish the knife, obviously, had other more distinct animations. It has no rare animations. It has all the default animations that, like, the standard flip knife have, right? In that sense, it's no different. It's just this draw animation. Is the draw animation enough to make the knife absolutely god tier? Yes. Yes, it is. The draw animation on this knife is, combined with how big and surly and sick the knife is absolutely amazing. This is a CS-gasm. Absolutely a CS-gasm. This knife is so fucking cool. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. The only thing that you could say that it's just leaves a little bit to be desired is the fact that because this knife is from 2013, right? It has no rare animations, you know, the way that modern knives do, right? It's the same draw every single time. It has the same boring inspect every single time, right? That's it. That's the only thing about it that you can basically say is just, like, not quite perfect. But I think that it's unquestionably the case that this knife is absolutely A tier. And it is the highest A tier. It is the single best knife in the game. It didn't say am I ready for the last knife? What do you mean? I thought I had nomad here. It feels a bit slow compared to the karambit and butterfly. So this is the thing. This is one of the things I love about it. I know Flom has this thing where he says that as an opper, it feels really hard to use the M9 because of how slow it feels. I love this sluggishness with which he pulls it out. I love that. It just feels like hefty. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like it has this, like, this weight to it that I just think is so fucking cool. I love moving it in the hand, seeing just like man, I could go on for days about using the fucking M9. I think this knife is unquestionably the single best knife in CS:GO that isn't the butterfly. So the butterfly knife is hands down. I know it's a normie take, but it's a normie take for a reason. It is hands down the best knife in Counter-Strike. Absolutely the best knife in Counter-Strike. It's just not even close. Not even close. This knife, for when it was put into the game, this is the closest thing that CSGO has to a perfect knife. The closest thing it has to a perfect knife. This knife has absolutely no drawbacks. It looks amazing in the hand, down to that little thumb animation there. The fact that it sits nicely in the palm. The inspect animation, this first spinny inspect animation, it looks amazing when it sits in the hand like this, when it's divided by the fingers. It obviously has a second inspect animation, that one, right? Which can be strung together. It is basically the only knife that just has zero drawbacks. There is just nothing that you could do to improve the butterfly knife. There are things that I would do to improve the M9, in spite of the fact that it is personally my favorite knife. I own one of each, and I love them both dearly. Even though I think that the butterfly is S tier, this is still my favorite knife. Like, if I had to pick one knife in CSGO for just aesthetics to use for the rest of my life, I would actually not pick the butterfly. I would pick the M9. But it doesn't change the fact that the butterfly is just absolutely S tier. It is absolutely S tier, bro. It's just like, there is nothing this knife does not do. It looks amazing. It feels amazing. And for the time that it released, the fact that it had the double inspect, the fact that it had the 2 different draw animations, that's 1, that's 2. You can couple 2 different draw animations with 2 different inspect animations and create this absolutely flippy, beautiful, gorgeous orchestra of just metal slanginess that is just the best thing ever put into, like, distilled into knife form. It is just absolutely incredible. There's nothing about the butterfly that is not God tier. This makes you happy or no? I unboxed them from Dream and Nightmare. You unboxed a butterfly from Dream and Nightmare? Can you unbox butterflies from Dream and Nightmare? I thought it was just breakouts and the Doppler ones. Someone else, Easton just said, butterfly is not restricted by floats, but M9 needs to be low float for it to look good on the better finishes. That's also true. Like, my M9 looks fucking amazing because it's a nice minware, right? It's a 0.07, right? Almost a 0.08, right? Like, that's a very good float, right? Now, to be fair, that's really the case with every lore, I guess I should say, right? Like, this butterfly also is a very nice float. Doesn't look as good, but it is genuinely, sorry, and sorry, I misspoke. 3 inspects, yes, as Alicat just said. Yeah. This knife is unprecedented. There's nothing like it before or since in CSGO, and the fact that it was put into the game in so I'm trying to remember this. Was this a 2013 knife, right? This is Operation Breakout in 2013. This was not a 2012 knife. Somebody remind me. I haven't looked this up in a long time. The knife, you're just trolling. Like, if you don't think that this knife is the S tier knife in Counter-Strike, you're just fucking trolling, dude. It doesn't have to be your favorite. It's not even my favorite. But you're just trolling if you don't think that this is obviously... No. It's not 2015. No way, dude. No. Yeah, late 2013. Or was it 2014? 2013. 2013. 100%. I want to say 2013 was the wiki, I guess. Like, I want, like... $2014! Yeah. 2014. Simon says, yeah. Yeah, 2014. 2014 it was introduced into the game. With the Operation Breakout weapon case, yeah. I think that considering this knife was put into the game in 2014, it is astounding. It is genuinely astounding how unprecedented before and after. And this is kind of what I meant before when I was being hard on the Talon, right? The butterfly knife is cooler than the fucking Talon knife, and it's literally like 4 years older, right? Like, this knife, Valve has never made anything, not before, not since, have they ever made anything as cool as this knife. And I hope they do eventually make something as cool. But nothing will ever be cooler than this knife. Unquestionably. It's the best. There's a reason why Valorant will make fucking 20 billion of them, right? Is because everybody wants a fucking butterfly knife. And paying $60 for one in Valorant is a hell of a lot easier than paying at least... What is the cheapest butterfly knife? $500. Like the most like battle scarred safari mesh butterfly knife is like $500. Jeremy says knife skins fell off after the butterfly. In a strict sense, that is true. That is actually true. There are plenty of knives that have obviously released since butterfly that I think are super, super sick. And I think that the skeleton is basically the best example of a knife that I think actually is like very, very cool. Genuinely very, very cool and a worthy addition to the game. But there's no question that the butterfly knife is the best best skin in the game. Unquestionably, it's the best. 450-ish, 500 Canadian, 400 USD. Yeah. If you want a battle scarred fucking like whatever it is, right? Safari mesh butterfly knife, you got to dish out at least $400 or $500 just to get one, right? Never mind something really clean, obviously. I really wish Gaben would fix the thumb clipping. Yeah, I know, but it's almost a testament to how cool it is, right? That the fact that it still looks amazing. It's like what I was saying before about the M9. The fact that the thumb clips on it, right? It almost doesn't matter because the knife is so badass. The animation is so badass that, like, who cares, right? The only thing I wish they would fix is not the thumb clipping. I wish they would fix the angle. So wait for this. It might happen. Sometimes when you inspect the butterfly knife, for those who own one, they'll know what I mean. Yeah, there. And wait for it. There. It pops up. See? That's the only thing about the butterfly knife that I wish they would actually fix. The thumb clipping doesn't, or the wrist clipping, whatever the fuck it is, doesn't bother me. It's just when you finish the inspect and you put it back, it's angled down sometimes, and then it snaps back up. And I hate that. There, and it's going to pop up. I hate that. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that I don't like about the butterfly that I wish they would actually fix. The butterfly knife is ever so obviously S tier. It's just not even a conversation. And I said at the beginning of this list, and for those who maybe are just tuning in, I'm a believer that tier lists have one S tier, one F tier. That's just the way that I do them. So, if I did S plus tier, right? Just for those who are wondering, if I did an S plus tier, can I make an S plus tier by add? I mean, look, I'm not going to overcomplicate this. If I could have an S plus tier, I would put the butterfly in S plus tier, and then what I would do is I would separate the M9 from these. So I would put like this here. I obviously I can't fucking. I just want to visualize it for the kids at home. This is how I would have it. At S plus S and then A's. But I'm okay. I don't need to overcomplicate things. I think this is fine. I think having the M9 as the highest A tier on par with these is honestly fine. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. I unboxed a butterfly gamma Doppler and then 5 cases later got a BF Brightwater. Buddy. That's clean. What was the what phase was the gamma? Hey Dimitri, I try to play retakes, but I can only play against bots. How could I play to another player? So you mean like you're only playing against literal bots, not figurative bots? I'm assuming is what you mean. I can show you when I log out of here. You just go to community servers, and then you I'll show you after this. We'll finish in a couple of knives. Yeah, you go to your community servers, and then just find retakes and just join a populated server. All right. Go on, next one. We get it. All right. Oh, the butt plugs. The butt plugs. All right, gents. It's time. It's time for the shadow daggers. So, here is my hot take, and I honestly don't think it's that hot of a fucking take. I think it's extremely fucking obvious. The butt plugs are awesome. The butt plugs are super fucking cool. They are absolutely... There's nothing like them. There's nothing like them that is any other knife. They are obviously 2 knives instead of 1. The way that they are held is really cool. I really like the way that they look in the hands when you walk around. I like the stabby stab. The stabby stab is cool. The double stab is cool. The single stab is cool. I think they look really cool. I like the draw animation. I like the fucking noises. Give that a little ASMR, guys. Looks really good. I really like these knives. I think that the inspect, super cool. I wish he didn't clip in the finger. You guys will notice that, right? Right on the left index finger, the forefinger, there is a there's a bug where the tip of the blade goes into the finger. That is obviously a little bit annoying. I mean, I can live with it. No, you know, lower the bob AMT. Yeah, I know, it's fine, man. I'll just keep it the way it is. It is, they like the way he holds them is sick. The flippy flip is cool. Flips like that. You can also do cool flippies like this. I love these knives. I think these knives, like my actual hot take is that shadow daggers are sick. Like they are fucking sick, dude. They are super cool. I like them. If I could get my hands on some sapphire fucking butt plugs, I would love to. The new lore ones also look really cool. I know Smooya was running them for a little while. I think he borrowed them and I was watching them. They look really, really sick. I really like these knives. They're not for everybody, and that's okay. They don't have to be for everybody. That's why you have different knives, right? But I think they look really cool. The problem for those who don't know is look at my crosshair. Oh, I had it before it there. Do you see that? Do you see that? Please look at my crosshair. Look at my entire screen. The butt plugs famously cause a bug where your entire FOV shakes like this when you draw them. I think it was Device was doing like a case opening with Zipple like a year ago, I think. And he asked him, I think because Zipple had this thing where he was like cursedly unboxing fucking, for those who watch the stream, you'll know what I'm talking about. He unboxed like 5 shadow daggers in a row, back to back or something. It was really funny. But the problem is that he asked him, he said, like, what's your opinion on shadow daggers? And Device, if memory serves, was like, they're sick. They're super cool. I actually think they're super cool. The problem is the bug. Is this. The only problem with these knives is this bug. And if Valve, I think he said, like, if Valve could fix the bug, I would use them. I think he's even the one who actually... Yeah, they haven't fixed that. What are Valve doing? I mean, look, man, like, I'll be honest, like, people out here talking about thumb clipping on the M9 and on the fucking butterfly, I could give 2 shits about that. Please fix this, because this is shit. This actually impacts your performance in the server, right? Like, I would use these, man. I would use these. I think they're super cool. I think they're actually awesome. Change it up once in a while, get a little stabby stab, you know, like you get nice little... I think I like the flip like this. I think they look sick. They look awesome. The problem is this ridiculous bug. This absurd bug that I don't understand how the hell it's not been fixed. So, look, if I was going to take this into account, honest to God, I would put these fucking here just because the game is literally unplayable. No meme, no cap. You know the whole literally unplayable meme? Actually unplayable if you use these knives. Let's pretend the bug, let's not be that harsh, and let's say, like, let's take into account the actual aesthetic of the knives. And let's say oh, it's so hard, man. It's so hard. What do you guys think? Because it's like, on the one hand, I want to say, you know, like, bug, screen shake be damned, right? Fuck the screen shake. These knives are sick. Let's just treat them for the aesthetic value. But, like, I can't ignore the fact that the bug exists, right? Like, and that it is a huge, huge deterrent to using them, right? I'm going to say it's got to be high D, man. High D, taking into account the bug. If no bug, that's where they go. 100%. That's where they go. 100%. This is where they go. Maybe, I mean, A is shooting it a little high. But honest to God, this is absolutely maybe even above Classic. I don't know necessarily above Falcon, maybe. And these fuckers are really just climbing the list, eh? But I think... Maybe the bug is why I'm still in MG. Yeah, bro, try a different knife. Maybe it'll clean up your aim a little bit. It's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. Like, this is really a good place to put it if you're just taking into account the bug. Like, but I think, honest to God, I think no bug in a perfect world where there is no screen shape bug, easily, maybe even here. Maybe. C, compromise. They just look so cool, man. I'm pretty sure Valve thought players would like the Shadow Daggers for its 2 knives and a cool factor. The problem is that, like, they are cool. They are cool. They're not a cool knife. The bug just destroys the butt plugs, man. It just makes them so hard to justify using. And, like, they're cheap as sin, dude. Like, if I actually go on Buff and I look up, right, Shadow Dagger, like, do you know how fucking cheap it is to get a Doppler? The lures look really cool. Someone in chat asked above, right, what's my favorite skin? Like, what's my favorite finish for them? I think that the sapphires look shit. I could even get them in statty. I don't need to get them in statty, but let's see. How much do they cost again? Oh, dude. Like, it's like $500. $500 for sapphire butt plugs. Like, and they look amazing. If with like sapphire butt plugs with Pandora's, bro, looks so fucking cool. The problem is just the bug. So, look, man, it's why dualies are sick, because there's 2. Yeah, it's true. Look, man. Let's compromise and let's say C. Let's say it's end of C. And that is, I want to be very clear, that is taking into account the bug. I actually do think that with the bug, it is still nicer than a flip knife. I want to be super clear, between a flip knife and between Shadow Daggers, I would still use bugged Shadow Daggers. Dead ass. I would. I dead ass would. I would not use the Shadow Daggers over any of these 3 knives with the bug. Without the bug, I honestly think they go here. But let's just keep it here because we live in a world in which the bug does exist. So they go C tier. Stiletto. So the story of the stiletto is kind of interesting because the stiletto is a knife that when it first came out, people thought it was really mid. They really didn't like it. And the reason is because, I mean, look at the blade, right? It is very pricky. It's small. It's hard to see. It just, and when you do like the side swipe with it, like the ha swipe, it just looks like dainty. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird. People didn't like it when it first came out. But the stiletto is obviously a very iconic knife outside of Counter-Strike. Like, it's obviously just one of these knives that, like, you know, the stiletto knife is just like a famous sort of like a switchblade style, you know, outsider style knife. And over time has actually become quite popular. So the stiletto recently has undergone something of a resurgence, and you can actually just see that, like, the prices on the stiletto are actually just rising because people are, oh, it's 1L, right? Yeah, stiletto. People are actually really, and by the way, I'm not just looking up sapphires because I happen to really like sapphires. I'm looking up because I'm trying to be consistent, right? So yeah, 18,000 for a sapphire stiletto, which for those who don't know is like shit, like $3,500 or whatever, right? Sorry, yeah, about $3,500. Yeah, it's expensive, and that's a cash price, obviously, right? That's expensive. So it's an expensive knife. The price has gone up. I love the inspect animation. I love this inspect animation. I think it looks good. I like the draw animation too, when the blade flips open like that. And it one into the other looks really cool. The rare inspect, it does not have a rare draw, but the rare inspect, that is super sick. The stiletto Yes, is used by Nico, I believe, a sapphire. Nico used a sapphire stiletto. Ashley at the in the Stockholm Major Grand Finals, he used one. It looks very cool. It's very elegant. I do not believe... What's that site? This is Buff. This is the big Chinese skin marketplace that everybody uses to buy skins. And I'm using this right now to check skins because Buff, just for context, for those who don't know, Buff is basically the closest thing that CSGO has to like a blue book price, right? So if you want to look up like how much is X skin or knife or whatever, how much does it cost, always look at Buff. Buff is the closest thing that will give you like a actual market value price. Don't check the Steam market, right? Don't check Bitskins or whatever. Just check Buff. Buff is the closest thing CSGO has to a blue book price. So that's why I'm using Buff right now. No affiliations. No, I don't think Buff even has fucking sponsorships with anybody. They're just, yeah. Or if they do, I've never heard of them. So, yeah. My fiance says, stiletto is an S tier knife, but you're a coward. No, I think stiletto is really cool. I have always been out here batting for stilettos. I am one of those hipsters who thought that stiletto was cool before everyone else did. Genuinely. I have always thought that this knife is sick. Is there a workshop map where I can try knives? Yes, so here, I explained this earlier, but I'll do it one more time. Go to this thingy right here, the CSGO Hub aim map. I can't show it here, but you go to the Steam workshop, you go to the CSGO Hub map. I'm doing ESL a solid here and plugging them, and you go to CSGO Hub, download the workshop from the Steam, the map from the Steam workshop. It's free, and then the only thing you have to do is you load into the map. It'll load you over here. You walk through into the trophy. The only thing you have to do is you have to go to your inventory. You have to equip default knives. So don't load into the map with a knife already equipped. Load in with default knives, and then you walk into this back room, and you're just gonna check any knife, and you can freely try any knife that you want. Okay? Yeah, that's it. And these are all the knives in the game. You can't try finishes. I mean, maybe you can config them. I don't know if SV cheats are on in this server, but someone else in chat might know. But yeah, all the knives just to see the different animations and stuff are here. Oh, Garrick, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Been a while. Where the hell's the stiletto? I keep losing knives. There we go. Going knife fever. This knife is extremely, extremely, extremely cool. And anyone who says otherwise is just stupid. Someone else... I don't want to be mean. Sorry, that sounded really... It's just stupid. No, it's just wrong, man. This knife is super fucking cool. And, like, I think it's awesome they put it in the game. The stab animation, as someone in chat already pointed out, is really badass. It looks so cool. It just has a really nice feel to it. It's really, really, really cool. Yeah, I think the stiletto is a banger. I think it's an absolute banger. There are also other maps where you can easily see the rare animations. Yeah, I actually just usually use surf servers, if I'm being honest. That's why I don't really know. Does my fiance play CS? She's learning right now. I'm actually teaching her to play CS right now, and she's actually quite cracked. It's like when Jamie used to play with it. Yeah, okay. Who's the one who said earlier? Simple uses it. Yes, Simple uses the stiletto. I believe Forrest has been a stiletto adopter for quite some time, actually. Like, I'm pretty sure he's also one of those people who thought the knife was cool way, way before everybody else did. The wood handle, I do not think or feels weird. I think it looks amazing. I also think the vanilla variation of this knife is arguably the nicest. Arguably. I think that the vanilla stiletto is a fucking banger knife. I think it's really cool. Really, really, really cool. Obviously, I would still rather take, like, a sapphire or a black pearl or something. But I do think it looks really, really, really good. How much have I spent in CSGO and how much profit? I can't tell you how much I've spent, but I can absolutely tell you that because I don't know, not because I don't want to tell you. I don't know, but I've definitely made a lot of money. All right, so I'm going to say that it is the lowest A tier. I am going to say that the stiletto is the lowest A tier. I think it is a very, 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 very nice knife. I think it's really fucking cool. It's just a hood classic. I respect it. That's a good way of putting it. I love this knife. I think it's badass. Interesting that A tier is our highest tier, right? Maybe it would have been cool, actually, to have an S+ tier. I'm comfortable with this ranking. I have no regrets. I'm very comfortable with how this ranking is shaped up. But I could see it as a very high B. But I do genuinely think that the stiletto is working its way. I do not think it is nicer than any of these knives. I do think it is absolutely the last. But I do think that it is a nice knife. And I think it's better than anything below it. Better than Talon? Yes, it is better than Talon. This knife is very, very, very cool. And people who don't think so, I'm telling you, man, it's an acquired taste. Just work your way up to a stiletto. Like, just give one a go. You know, go into a retake server or a surf server and just try one out, man. And I'm telling you right now, you're really going to like it. It also looks so good in different finishes. Like, you know, I have Pandora, so I like Sapphire, right? If I go and I look at the Sapphire finish, it looks amazing. But if you look at this in Tiger Tooth, it also looks amazing. Fade looks amazing, right? The vanilla, as I said before, I think is amazing. It's really, really, really cool. Does Valorant have a stiletto variant? Not yet, but I'm sure they will soon. Crims? Does Crims use one? I actually don't know. I haven't looked in a long time what Crims is running. Every knife is good till you get the fucking boreal forest. Toothpick of a knife. Yeah, it is, but that's not a bad thing, man. It looks cool. The price doesn't reflect it being better than the Talon. Yeah, but to be fair, I will say, like, one, I think the Talon is still just a little bit more of an... I think the Talon's overrated. It is the only knife on this list that I have said vocally I think is overrated. I do not think the Talon is as knife as people think it is. I will also say that the price of the stiletto is rising. It is rising. This knife is increasing in popularity. People are starting to flock to the stiletto, and we're seeing more and more pro players, you know, run, you know, Doppler gems at the major, right, at the majors. It's like I said, Simple's using it, Nico's using it. It is a knife that is definitely rising in people's estimation. I think somebody said Munacy too. The rust coat stiletto does look nice. I think that's the one that Forrest uses, because obviously Forrest is a huge rust coat guy, for those who don't know. All right, so that's gonna be. I think it could go either way. I think putting it at, but I feel more comfortable putting it like very, very, very low A tier. And what's next? The Bowie, and then there were 3. Okay, so the Bowie, for those, and I've been talking for actually 2 hours. I'm feeling it. All right, Bowie is an absolutely... Simple's using the blue gem stiletto now. That's cool. The Bowie is an absolutely amazing knife. It is an incredible, incredible, incredible knife. For those wondering where Dimitri was going to put the Bowie, you can rest assured that Dimitri thinks the Bowie is fucking badass. This inspect animation, this, like... draw into inspect, that is fucking so cool, bro. So cool. I like this stab animation. I actually think it's cool. I actually like the sort of like non-swipe, like stabby stab. I don't like this one. I don't like when he like does this with it. I think it's not as cool. I don't like that. But I do like the right click stab. I love how big and chunky it is. He's a big chunky boy. He's a hefty lad. The Bowie knife. I believe he is the heftiest lad in all of Counter-Strike. I think that is actually fair to say. Like, if you look at the M9, the size of the M9 versus the size of the Bowie, I think that the Bowie is bigger. It is more zoomed in. So to be clear, and we're going to get to this, we're going to talk about this in a second. It is zoomed in. So the M9 is held out further, and the Bowie is closer, obviously. So it does have the illusion of looking bigger. It is a bigger knife, but it is also not actually that much bigger. It's almost a sword, somebody says. Yeah, it looks like that because of how zoomed in it is. The inspect animation is, as someone pointed out, probably the most unique in the game. It's very cool. The way he flips it, and then flips it back, that's really cool. Awesome. I love the draw animation. The draw animation is absolutely amazing, and I love the way you can kind of segue one into the other. People flip it like this, obviously. It's very, very, very cool. The Bowie has one problem, and that is, bro, this CSGO knife wins the award for if they had just zoomed it out like pushed the arm further forward and put the left hand in the view model, I genuinely think this knife would be on par with the M9. I seriously mean that. I think a lot of people agree. I think that this knife was so close to being A tier. And I think that there are so many little things that Valve could have done to make this knife genuinely very, very, very sought after. The problem right now is that nobody wants to walk around with one hand. Look at this. Where's my left hand, bro? Because every other knife in CSGO is, aside from the Falcon, I believe, and I think the Falcon is not even one-handed. I think the Falcon is just that the hand is tucked. Right, where the hell is the Falcon? This guy. It's not even one-handed. It's just tucked. See? And it looks one-handed if you have a high bob like I do. Right? But it's not actually not visible. Like there, see? The problem with the bowie is actually one-handed. And because it is actually one-handed, it causes a lot of annoyance for people, myself included. God, I'm so tired. I just can't even fight these fucking knives anymore. There it is. I think this knife is very, very, very cool. I've heard one person on the internet say that he couldn't see a player due to the bowie knife being huge and got shot. I feel like in 4-3, that's a real problem. Yeah, they should have lowered it and they should have pushed it out a little bit more. That's my opinion. Imagine the left hand is jiggling there with ragdoll physics. It's just, the knife is incredible. I've often thought about buying one, man. I genuinely have. I think it's so sick. I would love to run a... Like, I think it just looks so good. It looks so good. But it looks so bad at the same time. Running out like this with it. The one hand. Not a fan. Not a fan, and I think that Valve could have done a lot to make this knife actually way cooler. And I just think that they kind of dropped the ball on it. I like the bowie. I just am so disappointed in the bowie. For me... I think it goes here. I cannot in good faith rank the shadow daggers above it because of the bug. I definitely can't do that. I do think that all three of these knives are cooler. B, D, people are saying. I don't think it's D tier. I definitely don't think it's D tier. I do think that it's C. I think it's C tier. I think it's C tier behind these three knives. It deserves B for being unique. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. Like, I just, there's a lot of, at least a B. Oh, bro. I think it's got to be here. I would put the bowie A. Look, man, if they had a couple of changes to this knife, I would make it A tier for sure. For sure, I'd make it A tier. I think C is fine. I think C right here is fine. I think these three knives are nicer as is, and I don't think that I can, in good faith, put the shadow daggers above it with the bug in the current state. But I really like the bowie, and I don't want people to think that anything... I love all the knives here in C tier. I love all the knives in C tier. I agree with Leo. B feels wrong. It just feels wrong. It's just not... to put it above these three Shattered Web knives, to me, just does not feel right. I just don't think so. The Falcon gets away with it because the Falcon is, like, genuinely sick. It's genuinely really cool. There's just a couple of things I would change about it that prevent it from being A tier. I think C is good. Two more. Huntsman. Ooh. So for those who don't know, I won't equip it, I swear. I won't cheat again. But I do own a Huntsman. I own a Sapphire Huntsman, which I really, really like. I'm a huge fan of the Huntsman. A lot of people are. And Did you buy your first knife or did unbox, and what was it? I bought my first knife. I did not unbox it, and I traded for it because I had a very, very, very big Dota inventory that I amassed over the years, and I basically just traded a lot, like cashed out my Dota inventory that I'd made all this money on for a bunch of CSGO skins, and I just traded for what I wanted. So, where's Huntsman? Huntsman is, bro. As a knife, the Huntsman is fucking sick. It's really cool. I mean, just look at this thing. Like, I'm not a big, like, you know, macho, deer hunting, American, rah-rah, like, kind of guy. But, like, just look at this thing, man. It's just so mean. It's just so fucking cool. Like, you know, it just has this grittiness to it. This, like, I know a lot of people who are really like the Huntsman. And there's a reason I own one. There's a reason I have it. I think it's a really cool knife. The Huntsman is underrated. It was really liked when it came out in 2016. I think it was 2016. People really liked it at the time. Obviously, it's sort of been overshadowed by now, but it was this spinny animation, which we talked about earlier with the gut knife, is amazing. And one of the things I really like about the spinny animation is that it segues really well into the inspect. Like that. You can just do it really quickly, and it looks super cool. The only thing that sucks about it is there's twofold. One, do you see this gap between homie's thumb and the knife? You see this gap? You're going to see it when he flips it this way around. There. That bothers me. I hate that. Like the clipping, the M9 clipping in the thumb, I don't care because I don't notice it when it happens at the high, fast speed, right? I don't notice it. It doesn't bother me. Same with the butterfly knife. I don't notice it. But this, I notice, and it annoys me. I don't like it. And the funny thing is, I think it only happens with Pandora's. I'm pretty sure that if I equipped my specialist gloves, it wouldn't happen. I'm pretty sure it only happens with Pandora's. Or like not with Pandora's. It only happens with sport gloves, and I think certain other gloves too. It's really annoying. Yeah, the gap. Really annoying. But this thing is a hulking beast. It's really cool. I really, really like it. The handle looks amazing. You know, it looks good in the hand here. It's got that kind of rugged sort of like finish. It's detailed. It's intricate. It's sick. It's a sick, sick knife. Huntsman gets a bad rep in my opinion. I think Huntsman is a super cool knife, man. And I know Tabson, like me, I think uses a sapphire Huntsman. It's a maybe it's a ruby, but I'm pretty sure it's a sapphire. It's a really, really, really cool knife. I think it's a badass knife. The only thing that's annoying about it is, aside from this thumb gap, which I hate, is the fact that it has all the default animations. Obviously, it doesn't have anything special. It's the same default inspect animation, same default stab animations. There's just nothing special about it. Huntsman black laminate battle scarred is a beaut. Yeah, I think the black laminate in general is cool. The new lore is also really cool. F, I can't unsee it now. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. But if you own one, like I do, you'll come to see it pretty quickly. But it's very cool. Like it's sort of like the M9. In my opinion, the Huntsman has always been sort of like a budget M9, right? It gives you that same sort of like gritty, meaty like feel, but it just doesn't have the sort of grace of the M9. Show finish. I think it's gonna be too much work to try to get so many finishes in here. Plus, if I introduce finishes this late in the game, it's gonna be unfair because we've done all the other knives vanilla up until this point, so I'm not taking finish into account. I think the Huntsman is a very low B tier. I think it's a very low B tier. I think it's a really cool knife. I genuinely think it's a really cool knife. How have I been doing this for 2 hours? Bro, there's a reason that I didn't play today. I was like, I know what's going to happen. I know I'm going to start this tier list, and it's going to take me 2 hours. So I didn't do any retakes. This is it. I think Huntsman is a very, very low B tier. That's my opinion. And I think it's a good knife. I think it's a great knife. I put it in low B tier, again, owning one. Like using one on a regular basis. I think it's a sick knife, but I do think that it's above C, but I don't think it's higher than any of these knives. And if they fixed another stream to finish rankings with one knife to go, which is, speaking of, our last knife. And that is the ursus. Where are you? Oh, he's over here, I remember. There it is. All right, the ursus. Now, the ursus is a good knife to end on because it's sort of one that I've always struggled to rank. I think that this knife is extremely, extremely, extremely cool. I think it looks really sick in the hand. I think it has a very standard, good view model. It sits nicely in the hands the way the M9 does, the way the bayonet does, the way the karambit does, right? The way the butterfly does. It just has a good, doesn't have any of this weird shit that like, the navaja, or not the navaja, God, I'm so tired. The falcon, where the hand is like hidden, blah, 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 right? The ursus just sits nicely in the hand. It has this interesting, at the time, sort of now kind of very default draw animation. That is the rare inspect, obviously. And the draw animation is the one where the rare draw is the one where he throws it, right? No, it's that one. Sorry, I was thinking of the survivor, the paracord, he throws it. Yeah, that's the one where he like snaps it up into his hand. The worst not rare inspect. So this is the inspect, and this knife I think is extremely cool. This is also a knife where I think you can see, we've seen that the estimation of, it's risen in the estimation of players over the last couple of years. I know Rain was running one for a while. I think a Sapphire, maybe a Ruby, I can't remember. I think a fade Ursus is really clean, and we've seen a lot of people run that before. I think this knife is extremely cool. The handle to me does not look like cheap plastic. It just looks like rubber. It just looks like a sort of beefy rubber. The only thing about this knife that I don't like, one, I don't like this. I like that rare animation. I don't like this draw animation. This one. I just don't like this one. I don't understand why he's like, I don't get it. It just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel, like you hit a op shot and then you pull out your knife and it just doesn't feel like it has any sort of like rhythm or cadence to it, That's cool. And this is cool. This is why I'm saying Config has the slaughter Ursus. You're right, he does, yeah. I remember now. It's cool. Certain things like this is really cool. This animation is super cool. And the rare draw animation, that is super cool. I think the handle is meant to be resin. Yeah, I think this is resin. I think then the black underneath is like a very sturdy rubber. It looks really good on the screen. Like when you're walking around like this and you have a fade or you have a Doppler, it looks really good. And if you've never tried one in a good finish, you should like go into a workshop map and try it because it is very, very, very cool. It's clean, it's basic, but it's not special. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I think this animation is sick. I like the dagger animations. I really love this inspect animation. I just think it's so badass. The stab animation looks nice on both sides. The draw animation is okay. It's just the only thing about it is I just don't like, I don't know. There's something about it. It's hard for me to rank. And I think it's very fitting that we end on this knife because I think that this is a knife that's been very, very difficult for me to place for a long time. Basically ever since it came out. I've just never really known how I feel about it. I love that. I love that, but I don't, this inspect where he sort of like holds it at a weird angle, like, and he tucks his fingers in, isn't it? It's kind of weird, right? Like it's just like a weird sort of angle at which to hold a knife, and it just doesn't feel very active to me, and the way that thumb comes in, if you do it like, see this, the thumb, that's the rare, obviously, the thumb, not into it. But I do think it's a cool knife, and we have seen a fair number of pro players use it quite consistently. Like it's definitely not, it's not a maligned knife. It's definitely a cool knife. It's definitely a cool knife. And I think it might surprise you guys actually that I put it here. Maybe it doesn't, but maybe it does. I think that this knife is a very, very cool knife. Someone just said Sherwin just says for the cost, it's actually good. I agree. I think I think it's a very nice knife, and I think that I think the blade looks really good in basically any finish. Like, this knife has some of the best Doppler finishes in the game. It's really, really nice. It just looks good in basically anything. There are knives that I legitimately think are better knives that I don't think look as good in certain finishes, right? Yeah, it has its good and its bad, so it's a fair B. Personally, you'd switch paracord and ursus. I just think that the ursus, I like the rare inspects, or not rare inspects, like the rare animations on the ursus more than on the paracord. I really like this one, the flippy in the fingers. Just give me I had the flippy and I lost it. Slaughter and Marble Fade are super clean on this. Yes. James says it's got a large surface area on the blade, so the Doppler finishes look sick. It does. And he holds it close to the screen, too. So, like, if you buy a Sapphire Ursus, I mean, I have a high bob, obviously, so you can see it close to the screen. But, like, if you buy Sapphire and you're walking a banana and you're looking at your blade, bro, like, it looks really nice. It looks really cool. This I love. I love this animation. I think it's really, really, really cool. Big fan. What do you think other CSGO commentators will think of this tier list? I have no idea. Don't really care, to be honest. Tier lists are incredibly personal things, and everyone should just make their own tier list independent of what anybody else thinks. The rare draw is fun. Yeah, I like the rare draw on this knife. I think it's nice. I think the rare draw is nice, and I really like this rare inspect too. The only proviso I'll make about this list, if you look at it from a glance, is I do think that this knife, and this knife, i.e. the 3 shattered webs who are not skeleton, I think their placement here honestly would be higher in subsequent finishes. I will just say that I think it's fair to say that the reason that I don't rank these knives higher than C tier is because I basically have to get them in fade. Like, if I don't want Slaughter, which I don't because my entire fucking inventory is blue, like my glove, my op, like everything is blue, I don't want Slaughter, right? I don't want Crimson Web. So I basically have to get Vanilla or I have to get Fade. And that's not a bad thing. Those are good finishes, but it just doesn't give me a lot of options, right? So I think that there is a sense in which these 3 could go higher once Valve releases subsequent cases with subsequent finishes, right? Like, if I could get a Sapphire Paracord, that would probably change things. That might change my opinion of the knife. They just need chroma finishes. Yeah, I agree. Put these in chroma finishes, man, and, like, that could change things. But I think this is a solid list. Would I change a lot? No. Oh, case hardened? Yes, but that's so dependent on so many things. Like, obviously, I would love to have a fucking blue gem. Paracord, but I'm not really a huge fan of case hardened if it's not, like, obviously a really nice blue gem, and I'm not going to spend the money on a really nice blue gem. So the Sapphire Paracord would be super cool. Any of the Dopplers would be really cool, especially if they start changing the color of this handle. I mean, honestly, there is a universe, and now that we've sort of done the list, we can start actually, like, talking about it now. There is a universe in which this goes to here. I could see this. I could see this. I don't think that this is crazy. I rank it above Huntsman only because if I start actually thinking about what I would prefer in the finishes that I want, I would probably take the Paracord over the Huntsman. I think the Paracord should be higher and Skeleton will be number 1 once Doppler finishes get added. The Skeleton, in my opinion, will never... I think that this, to me, these 4, is the definitive ranking of CSGO knives, but I think it's my definitive ranking. I don't think that anyone else is adherent to this tier list, obviously, and I don't think that doesn't mean that there aren't cases to be made, you know, that this is better than this or this is better than this, but these 4 in this exact order, I promise you, will never change. It will never change. No matter what chroma finishes they release for the Skeleton, it will never change. The only thing that would change these 4 is if Valve start finessing the animations, which they obviously will not. But, like, if they just, like, magically patched the game tomorrow and gave the Skeleton knife a new draw animation, that might shoot it up here. But right now, as is, these are my 4. Absolutely. I think I'm comfortable putting the paracord here. I think that a high C is maybe a little unfair. I think it's better than huntsman if we take it on the assumption that it's going to receive other finishes, which is obviously a very safe assumption, obviously. Underrated combo: foundation gloves and black laminate knives. For real, absolutely, dude. I think black lam are honestly some of the sickest finishes. I love black lam knives. I almost bought a butterfly black lam, but I bought the lore instead. I only wanted to buy one butterfly, and so I went with my goat. But I almost bought a black lamb butterfly because I just thought it was so clean. Stop trying to wiggle out of it. You're already off the team, Dimitri. Yeah. I honestly think that this is my ranking. This is my ranking. I'm comfortable with this. Maybe. Okay, all right. You fuckers have got me. Let's take one more look at the paracord. You guys have got me by the throat now. Let me see the other paracord. Bro, I just don't like. Is it cooler than the classic knife? I don't think so, right? Next time, do a tier list for finishes. Yeah, so the plan is to do a tier list for finishes. The plan is to do a tier list for gloves. And we're going to do other tier lists too. So I'm going to do like an actual CSGO gun tier list. Like not skins. Like ranking the guns in the game. And then I have some other sort of surprises too. Y'all got him big thinking for real. Yeah, dude. Glove tier list when? I'm going to do one soon. What's that map? This is the ESL, what's it called? CSGO Hub map. This guy, CSGO Hub. Off topic, my favorite CSGO team? Liquid, just because of NA. I'm a very OG, like, Navi fanboy, going back to late 1.6 days, and early Dota 2 days. So I'm always going to be a huge Navi fanboy. But I literally have a fucking Guardian bobblehead on my desk. But honestly, if I had to, it would be Liquid. Just because I'm obviously a huge NACS shill. So I always cheer for Liquid. Every tournament, they're my team that I cheer for. The classic knife is better. OG plus actual has good. Well, yeah, it's true. If the handle had different colors, it would be much more fun. I agree, man. I said this earlier in the list. I think moving it from here to here is reasonable. I think that's reasonable. I don't think I would put it above the classic or the Falcon. I still think it probably should be here as is. Butterfly vanilla is the best. You can't change my mind. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, bro. Truly, I don't. Like, one of the best vanilla finishes in the game. This is a nice knife, but I do think that it needs to have some additional finishes, and I think that there are some things about it that are still kind of But that inspect animation, that default inspect animation is badass. Where would I rank the default knives? I mean, I don't know, man. They all look fucking... Where's the CT one? Or the T1, rather? Is it over here? Is it not here? Oh, it's because I'm on CT, isn't it? No, I'm on T side right now. I'm on T side. So why do I have the CT one? That's weird. Maybe because I guess I had the C... Oh, because I had the T1 equipped. That's why. I will say you made a pretty solid tier list. Thanks, man. Thanks, bro. No way the Falcon's ranked above the flip. Absolutely it is. Para Blade is better than Classic. Falcon goes crazy. Fuck you mean. Falcon goes absolutely crazy, bro. Falcon is crazy underrated. That's why I have it right here. It's crazier underrated. It's a really cool knife. I think this is my tier list. So behold, chat. This is my tier list. I don't know where I'd rank the default knives, but I know that I would rank the CT1 above the T1. What would you want as the next knife to be added? I have no idea, man. I do think we need a second M9. I will say that. I think we need a new M9. Just like Butterfly got Talon. I think that we need a new A new M9. When's the Source 2.0 update coming? I have no idea, bro. What do you think of CS Source? I mean, it was just a bad game, but it was really fun. It was really, really, really fun. Like, I do miss playing Source because it was really enjoyable. It was just sort of, you know, not a great. I was a 1.6er, so for me, Source was sort of a meme game. But I did actually like enjoy playing it with my friends. Respectable tier list with good taste. Well, thank you, sir. That's it. This is the list. You know, it's subject to change as they all are, but I think that I'm very comfortable with this ranking. This, in my opinion, conveys my opinion about CS:GO knives. Yeah. That's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We went almost 2.5 hours. Almost 2.5 hours. Not quite, but almost. Thank you for everyone who was here the entire time. Thank you for tuning in. We are going to do more tier lists. We are going to do finishes. We are going to do gloves. And then we might get cute. I mean, we might do stuff like ops, you know, AKs. I want to do guns. Like, I want to do a weapon tier list. Not skins, again. But, like, just, like, what are the best guns in CS? I think I might get some guests on for that one. I might see what some CS guys around the office are saying for that one. I think that one would be fun if we did, like, a group chat for that one. And argued about it. Had fun. Thanks, Dimitri. Thank you, guys. Thank you. This was really fun. I was so happy to do this today. I'm really glad you guys enjoyed it. Chat engagement was super fun. So thank you for being here for the whole ride. And that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in again. And I'll see you next time. I'll see you next week. And we might do another tier list next week. We'll see. But we're for sure going to do more. A map tier list. Yeah, that's also a good one, actually. A map tier list. All right. I am ending the stream. Apologies, Rich. Thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I'll see you next week.